So let's talk about things that are completely normal in Portugal, but shocking to you if you're not used to them. I've been living here for 5 years now, and I still sometimes go, wait, what? And I'm not talking about the biggest waves in the world. Though, by the way, if you don't know, they're right here in Nazaré, just a 30-minute drive from where I live. No, I'm talking about the everyday things that still surprise me. I counted 14 of them that came to mind, and I'm sure I missed a few. So stick around and let me know which ones caught your attention and what I should add to the list. Number 1 are traditional student performances. These are unique and truly loved by locals and tourists alike. There's something so touching about these student performances. Singing, playing instruments and dancing in a way that feels alive and full of spirit. They started as a way for students to make money, and they are called tuna music. If you're lucky enough to run into one of these, you'll be mesmerized. It just draws you in, and for a few minutes, you're completely caught up in it. I've seen them in Lisbon, in Porto, here on Silver Coast in Caldas da Rainha, and every time it's unforgettable. Next thing that's so pronounced in Portugal you can almost touch it: ingenuity everywhere. In shops, public schools, stores, post office, people are truly trying to help. And just in general, people don't get annoyed easily. Shocking? To me, after living in the US, absolutely. Whether you're waiting in line at the register or any other situation. Locals often just catch up while everyone else waits. No complaints, no eye rolls. There's a real sense of patience here. Because respect and connection are valued. It's just how things are. People respect each other. And speaking of how people interact, if you're in Portugal, get used to really small personal space. Don't get me wrong, Portuguese people are very respectful. And if you treat them with an open heart, they respond in the same way. And friendships form fast. So expect hugs, expect heart-to-heart conversations. It's charming and I absolutely love it. And speaking of more reasons to love Portugal, I have to mention festivals. Local municipalities put a lot into keeping the spirit and cultural heritage alive. You won't believe how many lively, interactive celebrations there are. Marching bands parading through the streets, free live theater performances, cinemas under the sky, local symphonic concerts, all for free. And that's just the start. The focus here is always on people, and that's priceless. Next one is long lunches. In Portugal, many smaller shops and services like your local store, a butcher, or your dentist, or even the post office, all close around midday for a lunch break. It usually lasts about an hour and a half, sometimes 2. And that's totally normal here. Calma, things can wait. Life's for living, not for rushing. Now if you lose something, your wallet or your phone, there's a very good chance that if someone finds it, they'll do everything they can to get it back to you. Yep, that's Portugal. I've had this happen to me. I've lost my phone on the beach near Lisbon, with all my cards and money inside. And just minutes later, it was returned to me. At that moment, I couldn't help but think that living here is a real blessing. Next up is healthcare. You can get a private health insurance, sure. But what many people don't know is that you can also get something that's called a health plan for around 10 euros a month. Shocking, right? It basically gives you access to most private hospitals' doctors for about 30 euros a visit. Like how? To me, it's unimaginable. One of many reasons I love living here. And if you go for an actual health insurance policy, it actually truly covers you. Shocking! I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but after living in the US, yes, it's shocking to me. And by the way, if you're moving to Portugal and want more information about health insurance or how to get a European health card, which by the way gives you free access to medical care when you travel around Europe, you can find all that and everything else you need in my Moving to Portugal handbook in the description below. That includes all of the paperwork, housing, driver's license exchange, you name it. It's all there. And if you're not sure if you should hire a relocation specialist, here's my take. You can absolutely do it yourself, just like we did. And that's simply because you're going to be the one gathering all of the documents anyway. There's a lot of information online, as well as some really good Facebook groups that can help you. But if you want everything organized in one place, I also have a step-by-step D7 visa guide in the description. It's the exact checklist that we use to get approved, updated with the latest requirements, as well as all of the options for getting a Portuguese NIF number and opening a Portuguese bank account. This might be exactly what you've been looking for. Now, moving on to the next one. Ready for this? There's a guy, knife sharpener, amolador in Portuguese, riding his bike through the city, calling people out if anyone needs their knives sharpened. It looks something like this: a guy on a bike with tools packed in a bag hanging over the bike. So you come out with your knives, the guy sharpens them for you, you pay, everyone's happy. There's something so charming and warm about this. You kind of step out of modern life watching this ritual. And for a moment you're like, wait, is this 2026? Tell me, where else in the world it's normal to see leisurely, happy-looking cats lounging in the window displays of cozy little stores? Only in Portugal. I haven't seen it anywhere else. Have you? Just look at these beauties. Each one of them is the city's favorite. Everyone knows them, and the cats themselves are so used to the attention and love, you can tell they have a happy life. They create this vibe that fits Portugal perfectly. And speaking of taking care of cats, in many places here, people create little cat hotels and really take care of them. They make tiny houses for them with comfy beds, bring water and food, though the seagulls have also figured it out, so they like to join the feast and consider themselves invited. And this just warms my heart. I really admire how people, many of them with modest incomes, dedicate themselves in helping cats like this. On the other hand, there are some real issues in Portugal with the way some dogs are treated. It's heartbreaking to see some dogs chained outside for long periods of time, sometimes with very little shelter and care. Portugal does have strong animal welfare laws, and many people do treat their dogs like family, but especially outside the bigger cities, this still happens, and honestly, it's hard to see. Now, this next one isn't for the faint of heart. Buses cruising at speed through narrow streets, taking sharp turns and impossible corners like nothing. The way they drive stops your blood cold. You can't help it but wonder, how do they do this? Swinging, fitting through the tightest streets and somehow not hitting other cars. Or do they? Of course they do. We just picked up our car from a repair shop because it was slightly brushed by a bus. Yep, that's pretty common here in Portugal. And you know what? People just take it easy. And speaking of sharks on the road, speeding along tiny, windy roads, unfortunately is pretty common here. Some of these streets aren't much wider than your car, and you'll never guess, most of them are not one-way roads. Another only in Portugal wonder for me are peacocks roaming around through city streets and squares, open-air markets, parks, and sometimes even screaming at you from the rooftops. Honestly, I had no idea they can fly that high, and you can never get used to seeing them. It's always a treat, and we usually end up following them with a camera. They're just such incredibly beautiful birds. How could they ever become part of a routine? Impossible. And speaking of exotic animals in the wild, how about two blue sharks taking a swim in the local lagoon? Yep, this actually happened in Lagoa de Óbidos a little less than 2 years ago, and it made national news. Just the thought of it still gives me chills. The sharks were spotted right in the calm lagoon waters, where hundreds of locals and tourists swim every summer. Two sharks swimming in these peaceful waters? How surreal is that? Okay, I should probably stop here. I hope it was fun. Let me know which one of these surprised you, or if you have anything else to add to my list. The last thing I want to say is this: the longer I live here, the more this country becomes part of me. In my next video, I'll show you what gym culture in Portugal is like, and what to expect when it comes to staying fit after you move. And most importantly, what are the main differences between the gyms in Portugal and the gyms in the US. You can click right here when this video goes live.